First, let's establish who we are talking about. Lamine Yamal is a real-world prodigy. He plays as a right winger for FC Barcelona and the Spanish national team. At just 19 years old, he has already won the Euros and the World Cup, which makes him the youngest ever to win both these trophies. Plus, there's the passing the torch thing he has with Messi. Julian Loki, on the other hand, is a fictional character from Blue Lock. He's a direct parallel to Kylian Mbappé, a French prodigy with explosive pace and world-class finishing. He plays for PSG and the French national team in the Blue Lock verse, and at just 17 years old, he was already accomplished enough to be chosen by Ego for both the World 5 and as a master striker for the NEO Egoist League. That is the same level of aura as Yamal in the real world, which is why we are comparing Yamal to Loki and not to any of the other new Gen 11 players in Blue Lock. Now, you may be thinking, isn't Loki basically just Mbappé? What's the point of comparing Yamal to Loki instead of Mbappé, who actually exists in the real world? Well, not quite, because you see, unlike Mbappé or even Yamal, who played in and won the actual World Cup as teenagers, Loki is participating in the Under-20 World Cup. And unlike Mbappé or Yamal, he won't get to play in the real World Cup as a teenager. You see, the Blue Lock manga starts right after Japan's defeat at the real World Cup in 2018. The current arc is the 2019 Under-20 World Cup. That means Loki's next shot at the real World Cup would be in 2022. And since he's 18 during the Under-20 World Cup arc, he'll be around 21 when it's time for the 2022 World Cup. So we are comparing Yamal to a player who has not even played in the real World Cup. But let me clarify, just like Yamal with his club and national team, Loki was also already playing for the senior teams of both PSG and France at 17 years old. Plus, the Under-20 World Cup happening in Blue Lock right now is a big deal. The manga itself states that this Under-20 World Cup has had marketing and backing on par with the actual World Cup. That's why Loki and the other new Gen 11 players are also joining. Still, yes, if we compare actual World Cup achievements, Loki is nowhere near Yamal or even Mbappé, especially because, let's be honest, France is not winning this World Cup, but we are not going to count Loki out just yet. Make sure to like the video and keep watching, because I'll show you why there are still strong arguments for Loki being better than Yamal. First, we'll break down their archetypes to see what kind of players they are. Then we'll discuss them both as strikers and as overall players. Basically, both are wingers, but the way they play is different. Yamal is a creative playmaker. He comes from the right wing, cuts inside, and bends the ball with his left foot. His game is about vision, tactical intelligence, and manipulation of space. He draws defenders toward him, then finds the open man. In simple terms, Yamal, just by being on the pitch, makes his team exponentially better. Of course, this gets him slandered by LARPers who only watch the highlights and then start saying Yamal did the Mbappé special.
For example, nothing.
Yeah, but that's not the case at all. Yamal completes Spain's system, and we saw it in 4K during this World Cup. He only played 19 minutes against Cabo Verde because he was still recovering, and Spain lacked directness because of it. Yes, Cabo Verde also had a generational run, but if Yamal had started against them, Spain could have won that match. On the other hand, when Yamal started against Saudi Arabia, Spain's attack was complete. His role is twofold. First, he draws in defenders and opens up space for midfielders and forwards. Second, when he starts, his team plays with higher confidence. His presence gives them a psychological edge because Yamal keeps the attention of multiple defenders. No wonder even someone like Ferran Torres can score. Then there's Loki. He's a pure striker who relies on his extraordinary speed. He uses explosive bursts of acceleration to blow past defenders, and overall, he operates as a central striker. His game is about speed and raw goal-scoring instinct. And much like Mbappé, Loki maintains absolute ball control while sprinting at top speed, which allows him to slip through tight spaces without slowing down. Now, both Yamal and Loki also carry validation from the #1 players in their verses. Yamal carries the passing of the torch narrative from Messi himself. And sorry, Ronaldo fans, but Messi is the greatest player alive. Loki, on the other hand, carries validation from Noel Noa, the best striker in the Blue Lock verse. In Yamal's case, he was literally bathed by Messi as a baby, and he then went on to defeat Messi in a World Cup final. In Loki's case, he's considered the biggest threat to Noel Noa, which means Loki is set up as the next #1 striker in Blue Lock. But of course, just like with Loki's World Cup pedigree,
For example,
it's all about the promise of future dominance. Yamal, on the other hand, has won both the Euros and the World Cup, and although he's nowhere close to Messi, he has defeated Messi in a World Cup final. And I know I said the Under-20 World Cup in Blue Lock is built up as a tournament on the same level as the main World Cup, but keep in mind, Loki is still playing against teenagers. Meanwhile, Yamal's World Cup run included beating Ronaldo's Portugal, Mbappe's France, and Messi's Argentina, and those are just 3 big names. Yamal has been going up against prime players in their late 20s or early 30s since he joined Spain's national team and Barca's first team. You could say the same about Loki, but again, for Loki, it's all all about future dominance. Alright, with that said, let's compare them both as strikers and then as overall players. And as you can guess, Loki outclasses Yamal as a striker. Loki's game relies on an uncatchable 10 to 30 meter sprint speed, and because he maintains total ball control at maximum velocity, he doesn't need a playmaker to feed him. He can simply create and finish his own chances. Compare that to Yamal, who is a forward, yes, but unlike Loki, he's an inside forward from the right wing. His striking threat comes from tactical deception. Defenders have to respect his passing vision, which gives him the half second of space he needs to cut inside onto his left foot and bend world-class finishes into the far corner. And to show you what that's like, what if I told you Yamal created more chances during the 2025-2026 period than Alice? You see, Yamal created around 105 total chances and 39 big chances compared to Michael Olise's 102 total chances and 36 big chances. Alright, let's come back to the big question. Who is the better player between Yamal and Loki? Well, as you can tell by now, Lamine Yamal is a far superior overall player because his presence elevates all 10 teammates around him, whereas Loki is an individual weapon. That's right, if you need a pure goal scorer, Loki is him, but if you are building a team structure, Yamal is superior. His gravity on the right wing is so great that he regularly keeps 2 to 3 defenders in check just by holding the ball. This frees up other players, and this is how Yamal, at just 19 years old, has already completed international football by winning both the Euros and the World Cup. Another thing, Spain has never lost whenever Yamal started. What's funny is that Yamal is not an egoist in the blue lock sense. He's fine with staying in the shadows as long as his team wins. I mean, he even said that if Spain wins the World Cup, no one will remember how many goals he scored. Which is true, even Mbappé said that he'd rather be in the World Cup final than being the top scorer in World Cup history. Which is also funny because you'll never catch an ego-approved player saying this. So the answer to our original question, how close is it? Loki is close. He's the closest thing in blue lock to Yamal, but close is not equal. But what do you think? Was I glazing Yamal too hard? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to like the video and subscribe because I'll be uploading another video titled Yamal versus Bunny when blue lock faces Spain in the under 20 World Cup.